as you look at how the Lord must have, and I don't want to speak for the Lord for sure, but when I look at how the Lord must have viewed the unfolding from Adam right to the end. We know he had it all planned. We know the Kirtland Temple, for example, was planned in advance because Joseph Smith prayed to know what it should look like, and the Lord had a model of the temple come right toward the first presidency. Frederick G. Williams said they could look in and see to the minutest detail the Kirtland Temple. Well, if the Lord had it showed the first presidency 3 years before it was completed, then would he have had it 10 years or 100 or 1,000 or 7,000? But I think that may have been seen by ancient prophets. President Nelson said that he thought that possibly every prophet had appeared to Joseph Smith in Kirtland. And it centers around the temple. But you look at the prophecies, certainly of Christ coming in the Old Testament. Elder Maxwell said that the date of the Savior's birth was known in our premortal lives because the Star of Bethlehem had to be put in orbit way before so that it would appear on the night of the birth. Well, the Kirtland Temple was likewise seen in advance and planned because the date of April 3rd of 1836 was given to ancient prophets as well as to Joseph Smith, because you got Malachi saying that the Lord whom you seek will suddenly come to his temple. That was the Kirtland Temple. And then he said then he said that Elijah would come. And then in New York, when the saints were commanded to go to Kirtland, the Savior said to Joseph Smith that they should go to Kirtland, and then he said, I will suddenly come to my temple. He repeated the prophecy of Malachi in the exact words, I'll suddenly come to my temple, and that may be the first reference to temple in our dispensation connected to Malachi's prophecy. But that was foreseen, and then Sidney Rigdon, when he was converted, was told that he'd been called to go to Ohio, and his mission was to prepare the way for Christ and Elijah to come there. Right. And he knew it, thou knowest it not. Yeah. And then in 1831, in section 64, the Lord said, I'll build a stronghold in Kirtland for 5 years. Well, that's April 3rd of 36. The Jews knew long before that was going to happen at Passover. And April 3rd was Passover, and it was 5 years. So that was all planned in advance.